thing that I don't like about this camera is that once you press record, it just zooms you in, even though my lens is a 10mm. I don't get it. But anyway, don't mind the boxes in the back. We are currently in the process of moving. Also, don't mind the quality of the video. It's currently 8 PM and I'm using my ring light for the first time ever. I never ever use my ring light because, to be honest, I don't really like it. But tonight I had to film a video, so ring light it is. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then hi, hello, welcome. Before you continue watching, then don't forget to subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you never miss when I post a lit video. If you're not new here and you're joining me again, thank you so much for joining me again. Today, or tonight, I've decided that I'm gonna start packing. So I literally have like 3 massive boxes behind me and they're just full of like my clothes, and to be honest with you, it's nowhere near enough, which is kind of scary because Joe has a lot more clothes than me. By the way, if you're new to my channel, Joe is my boyfriend. We have 2 children together and I have 1 child outside of the relationship. Just a quick little, I don't know, backstory on my life, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a bit worried because he has the most clothes and then both kids. So yeah, I was a bit worried because obviously everyone has a crap load of clothes. So guys, I'm gonna try and keep my channel very much PG with no swearing. So starting from today, I'm gonna try and stop swearing. So yeah, I've basically just started off with the clothes and then we'll get to like the living room stuff and then the kitchen stuff and then the bathroom. But we literally have, it's 24th, we literally have 5 or 6 days to get out of here. I've already sorted out the storage space because when we move out, we have a week gap where we have nowhere to go before our contract starts with a new house. So I'm gonna be back at my mom's house for a week and Joe's gonna be back at his parents' house for the week, and then we're gonna move in. Anyways, scrap all that. That's basically the explanation as to why there's boxes in the background. I am actually gonna be vlogging the whole moving out process and we'll see how it goes, I guess. So I feel like I have not come on here in a while. I think it's been about like a week or whatever, and obviously I've been trying to aim to upload about 2 or 3 times in a week, but I'm adjusting to being a mum of 3. I'm gonna be real though, there isn't much to adjust to, and in my opinion it's not that much harder than having 2. The only thing that is difficult, I would say, and is a lot more different, is the fact that I now have no sleep. Like my nights are just completely sleepless because what the baby does is that the baby's name is Kian Aviko. It's a double barrel name. I'm gonna put it down here so you guys know what it's spelled like, because you probably won't know how it's spelled just by the way that I'm pronouncing it. But this is the name that we chose for him. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so Kian is basically, he's awake all day. No, sorry, he sleeps all day and then he's awake all night. And so me and Joe just get no sleep whatsoever, and then in the morning you can't sleep either because then the other 2 kids are awake. So, and then like I do school runs and stuff, but obviously Joe's been off work and stuff, so he's been doing the school runs and helping me with that, so that's been fine. But he's back at work next week, so it's gonna get really peak for me basically. I would say that's the only difference. But obviously because of the whole sleepless nights and me being super tired all the time, I haven't had the chance to come in here and make a video, but I have had a lot of ideas and I know like what I want to do. It's just a thing of like sitting down and actually getting it done. Just, I guess a lot has been going on in terms of Kian, me and Joe. We're just like, we're absolutely knackered. Like, we're absolutely knackered. I feel like we didn't go through this with Enzo when he was a baby. I feel like the nights weren't that bad. If they were, I think it was for about 2 weeks and then he started doing his nights a bit more. With this baby, we're just not used to it at all, and it's just hitting us really badly. Like we're getting no sleep, so we end up just like sometimes trying to pull an all-nighter because we're like, there's no point of us going to bed and then we're gonna get woken up by crying and it's gonna make us more tired. Yeah guys, it's really hard. I've had so many people that are like, oh my god, like congratulations, you're making me broody, you're making me want a baby. I'm like, you know what, do you sis, by all means, but just be prepared for the realities of it, because it's not all cuddles and smiles and kisses. Like, it's very difficult, especially if you're like me and you love your sleep. Like I love my sleep. Anyways, like, I mean, not waffle on yet, just basically a lot's been happening in that sense, and now we're gonna have to try and sort out the moving process whilst having 3 kids. It's not gonna be easy, but I just want to show you guys like the reality of doing normal stuff or doing something as challenging as moving houses with 3 kids. Also, before I forget, something happened to me, I think it was last week now. It was actually like a week ago. When it happened, I wasn't thinking like, oh my god, like I need to make a video on this. I was not even gonna video this, but I just thought, since I'm like updating you guys with what's been happening, might as well include this also. So something very, let's say, traumatizing for me happened a week ago, and I'm now genuinely scared to go out late at night, like to go to like a shop by myself or go to like a cash point, especially because this happened at a cash point anyway. So anyways, about a week ago, it was, I think it was around like midnight, maybe even 1 o'clock in the morning, I took myself to the cash point because I knew that the day after I had a pedicure appointment and I can't be bothered to go to the cash point and then to the nail shop. The nail shop is next to my house and the cash point's a bit further down. So I was just like, let me just get the cash ready before my nail appointment. It was 1 o'clock in the morning and me and Joe were just up, like doing our own thing. I was on the laptop chilling, watching YouTube videos. He was watching his series on Netflix, whatever. Decided like, let me just go drive to the cash point quick. I have a Tesco next to my house. It's a petrol station and it's got like a Tesco Express. And in that petrol station, there is a cash point. So I went there. The roads were completely empty. It was literally like ghost town. I think I saw a maximum of like 2 cars out on the road, which is really bizarre, even if it was 1 AM. But so yeah, I parked my car in a petrol station and then I went to the cash point. I took out money on 2 of my cards. I wanted to keep some money also in my purse as well as for my pedicure. I think I took out about £100 because I took it on both cards. I guess there was somebody that was watching me and that person must have been walking past the petrol station. They probably were initially just walking past the petrol station and then saw a young woman on her own at the cash point, which means that she would have money on her and is like, she's vulnerable. I guess like she'll have no way to defend herself. He must have saw that and decided to come into the petrol station. I heard something, like when I was taking out the cash from the first card, I took it out and I heard something. It was almost like there was a presence behind me, like I knew someone was standing behind me. So I'm obviously really like panicky and I'm already quite paranoid because every time I'm at a cash point I'm paranoid anyway, because you're taking out cash, like someone could run past and grab it, someone could run past and like rob you, whatever, like you don't know, like you're taking out cash. On top of that, like it was super quiet, like it was the scenes were scary, guys. You can imagine like 1 AM ghost town, completely quiet, late at night, and you're by yourself, you're a woman and you're at a cash point. Straight away, like I kind of like turned around, but there was nobody there. The petrol station was completely empty. Obviously, I'm not even joking, he literally was hiding behind one of the, it's not a pillar, what am I talking about, one of, because there's 3 lanes of the petrol station. He must have been hiding behind one of them. It will make sense to you as I continue with the story. Anyway, every time I'm at the cash point anyway, I never just like completely like do my thing. I'm always kind of like looking around me like discreetly kind of thing, or sometimes I act like I'm looking at my shoe or I'm like pretend to itch like the bottom of my leg just to make myself like turn around and check my surroundings. So anyways, I turned around and there was nobody there. And I thought probably just being paranoid, might be leaves blowing in the wind or whatever, might be like an animal or a cat or whatever. Obviously I checked and there was nobody there. Took out the second part of the money from my other card, and then as I turned around, do you know what the funny thing is? Let me quickly say, before I even turned around, I literally, sometimes I'm just so weird like this. I don't know if anybody else does the same, but I make up weird scenarios in my head, sometimes like really crazy, like brutal violent scenarios in my head that are just not normal, and sometimes just like unrealistic scenarios in my head. And in that moment I kind of like, I thought of this scenario in my head of me getting robbed at the cash point. Also, before I left my house, I prayed. Like when I was in the car, every single time I drive off, by the way, every single time I drive off, I always pray. Whether I'm going to the corner shop, whether I'm dropping Jane to school, whether I'm driving far out to bloody Kingston, Catford, whatever, like wherever I'm driving, I always pray to have a safe journey, to make it there and back with no complications, blah blah blah. So I prayed, and anyways, I had this scenario in my head, like the weirdo that I am, of me getting robbed, and it was just getting a bit too much in my head, so I just like cut it short and I was just like, just stop, like it's not gonna happen. Turned around and started making my way towards the car. As I'm halfway towards the car, a guy walks out from one of the petrol stations. It's like the lane thingy, whatever you want to call it, guys, just make up your own image in your head. He walks out from there. I swallowed my heart, and I think that in that moment you don't want to show that you're scared, you don't want to scream, you don't want to do anything because you don't want them. It's almost like, you know, when a dog fears, when a dog senses that you're scared, they almost want to attack more. I didn't want to show I was scared for that reason. I wanted to kind of show that like, you're not scary, like I can beat you up. obviously I couldn't, but I just didn't want to show I was scared in that moment. So I was kind of like, I was so scared, like I was shaking, but I was trying to hold it down and firm it and not look like I'm scared, but at the same time not put myself in a position that could get me hurt. So when I saw him walk out, I already knew what the deal was. I already knew that he wanted to rob me because one, Tesco's closed, so he's not going to Tesco, and two, the way that he came out of the station, the petrol station lane thing, and was walking that way towards my car, like the same place that I was walking towards, and the petrol and the cash point's over there. So he wasn't going to the cash point, he wasn't going to Tesco, there was no other place that he could have been going. Like, he was coming to me. I cannot explain the whole scenery in my head. Just know that if he was in that position, you would know. Like, for me, I accepted my fate and I was just like, yep, he's here to rob me. He saw me and he's been watching me taking out cash. He obviously saw that I took out cash on more than one card, so he knows that I've got cards in my bag and I've got cash in my bag. So, and I've got nobody here and there's no one around, which I think is kind of stupid because in that petrol station there are cameras. But anyway, saw him, made eye contact with him. As soon as I made eye contact with him, it was kind of like do or die, like, God. As he was walking towards me, everything happened so quick. He had like a, not a bum bag, but like a bag that you put around you like that. He reached it, like he put his hand into his little bum bag thing. And from then I was like, yep, like it's actually my time. Like he's actually gonna rob me at gunpoint or knife point. Like who knows what he's gonna do to get this money off me. From that moment, as soon as we locked eyes, and then I clocked him taking out the thing from his bag, whatever he was doing in there, it was almost like it was a race to my car. So I then sped up, almost ran to my car, closed the door so fast before he can get to me. And the thing is, it took me so long to get used to this car, like the buttons on the inside, like what locks the car, how to turn on my lights, how to do this. Like it took me so long to learn everything in that car, and more time I was just winging it and didn't know. I had just recently learned how to lock that car, thank God. Because as soon as I got into the car, before he can get to my car door, I quickly pressed the lock button. Then from then, my whole thing was just like, you need to drive away, like you need to go, go, go. And because I was so panicked, like as soon as I walked in, I dashed my bag to the side and my bag fell on top of the clutch. And so I turned my key, put it on drive, and then I was reaching to like pull the clutch up, but obviously my bag is there and I'm panicking and shaking, so I just dashed my bag to the side, pulled up and just sped off. And the thing is, before this happened, like as I got into the car, I obviously got there before him. He looked at me when I was sitting in the car. He just looked at me, and then he walked around my car and he just stood there, and it was bloody scary. Like he was standing there, like facing my car, like facing me, like as if like he knew that like he fucked up. I feel like when I was racing to get to my car before him, he didn't want to make any sudden moves. I feel like he didn't want to run. He didn't want to grab me. Like it's like he knew that whatever he was planning to do, like it could have flopped. And the fact that I clocked onto him kind of was a put off for him also, because when I don't know what's going on, there's more chance of him being able to rob me because I'm kind of like, I'm clueless. Because I knew what was going on, it's kind of like, oh, she could scream right now and someone could just come out. Like he didn't want me to kind of make any sudden movements, and me kind of like racing to get to the car before him was a put off for him. Like he was walking quickly towards me, but I was almost jogging, so I got to my car before he quickly shut it. So the way that I shut it, he already knew that I knew, and he knew that I was trying to get away from him, and he knew that I beat him to it, got there first. So then I just sped off home, but I was shaking. It was really, really dangerous. Like I wanted to just like drive out of the petrol station and then just stop the car and then call Joe and cry, but I'm like, I don't even want to stop here because who knows if he's gonna run after my car. So I was like, I need to drive and get to my road, like get to safety. So I drove so quick to my road and I just stopped in the middle of the road and I was just shaking, and I called Joe. And when I called him and told him, he was just like, yeah, right, like it's a prank and blah, blah, blah. And when you're going through that, you're just thinking like, bro, I'm literally shook right now and you're talking about pranks. Like that annoyed me so bad. I was like, Joe, like I swear to God, I swear on everything I love, like I'm not joking, this actually happened. And then the next day we were gonna go to Tesco to ask them for the CCTV so we can give it to the police, but at the same time I felt like, what's the point, because the video is not going to show him physically touching me, so he's not going to get arrested for that. He could just lie his way out of it and just be like, yeah, like I came to the petrol station for a stroll. As much as the police would know what his intentions were, you can't arrest someone just because you know what they were going to do. Like he hasn't actually physically done anything, so nothing would have happened to him, so there was no point. But I remember his face very well. If I was to see him again, I would know. And obviously it's in this area, so he obviously lives around here, because what are you doing strolling in this area at 1 o'clock in the morning? I'm so glad that we're moving out next week, and from then I just like, I don't go on late night shop runs anymore, don't go to the cash point late at night anymore. Like I'm completely traumatized with that. This should be a wake-up call to everyone, but I would say especially females. Just be so careful when you're going to cash points, whether it's nighttime or daytime, especially nighttime, when you're by yourself, when you're going on these late night shop runs to get snacks or whatever. You know, that little walk to and from your house or whatever, like, it's so dangerous. Genuinely, sometimes you don't know who's watching you. Oh no, honestly, like, that, it was just so scary. And also, always pray before you leave your house, because that prayer is what saved me. I was gonna say what probably saved me, but 100% is what saved me. That's what happened, and just never again. Never again. I'm not going anywhere without Joe to stay at night. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was just a quick little story time for you guys of how I almost got robbed at, who knows if it would have been gunpoint or knife point, if my instincts did not tell me to to speed walk to my car. Just think back on a situation, you're just like, if this had just gone this much different, like the situation, the flipping, the conclusion, the whatever would have been so much more different. But honestly, like, I was replaying that in my head so many times. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you guys learned something and took something from this video. Don't be stupid like me and go to the cash point at 1 o'clock in the morning by yourself as a female. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.
Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win.